those of you who have been supporting me on Patreon for a while will have heard a little bit more about my private life and, to be blunt, my sex life, my love life, than the people who just know me from YouTube. And most of what I have to say is a sort of self-mockery, self-criticism. And it also consists of observations on Chinese culture and how I fit into Chinese culture, how I'm perceived here or misperceived here. And certainly in the past, I actually wrote some stories about that too. I have some articles written about my experience when I was living in Laos and Thailand, those places, how I did and didn't fit into that society. You know, sort of a bad way to start a stand-up comedy routine. A funny thing happened to me at the airport the other day. But this story really is about a funny thing that happened to me at the airport. You may have heard me say that, you know, naturally, I'm only drawn to women who are extremely intelligent. And that's kind of a problem for me in my life. And I've joked many times. I remember joking about it with Cheetah back when Cheetah and I were friends. You know, I really sincerely try to initiate more relationships with women who are of average or below average intelligence. I try not to be such a snob. I try to be open-minded. Doesn't come to me naturally. As any of you will have noticed in all my videos, you know, I do not suffer the company of fools gladly. And intellectually, I have very, very high standards dealing with people. But, you know, I'm trying to mellow in my old age. I really am. And, you know, part of that, keeping it all the way real, part of that is letting other people show you what talents they have. Part of that is letting people show you in what ways, what unexpected ways, they might be intelligent. They might be intelligent in ways you can't quite anticipate. They might be intelligent in ways that don't seem obvious when you first meet them, or even when you first read their essays or something, if it's someone you meet in that kind of context. So again, whether it's friendship or romance, I've been trying to give people a chance. But you know I'm a snob. I care a lot about a person having taste. And I talked about this recently in Chinese with my Chinese teacher, because it's very interesting culturally and psychologically and even ethically. What do we mean by having taste? And why is it so important to me that a person has good taste, or at least that they don't have bad taste? At least that they're not tasteless. And I think you all know, if English is your first language, you know what I mean by taste. And yet it's very hard to pin down. If you really want to reflect on it with precision, what does it mean for a person to have good taste? It's some kind of it's some characteristic. It's how you choose to live your life in minute ways every day. And yet, I feel it reflects something about you that's not trivial. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. So I was at the airport, and when I was waiting to get on the plane, there was one woman in particular who was strikingly good looking. She was an extremely attractive woman. I'm not going to describe her because I don't want this video to become gross. But while I was waiting to get on the plane, I noticed her, and to be blunt, how could you not notice her? This was an extremely attractive woman. You do not have to be a heterosexual male to notice her, but the vast majority of heterosexual males could not ignore her. But to be honest with you, while I was waiting to get onto the plane, I just noticed her, and then I didn't pay any attention to her. I had other things on my mind. There were actually a bunch of gift shops in that part of the airport. I was looking around thinking, would I buy this for my daughter? I'm divorced, I have a daughter. You know, you're just not in that kind of mind frame when that's what's on your mind. And I had other things in my mind. So you get in the airplane. And this ride is maybe a 40-minute plane ride. You know, the time you're in the air is not that much. But I notice just one row in front of me and diagonally across, so the chair ahead of me and to the side, this good-looking woman who is making a big effort to make eye contact with me. And you have to realize the positions involved here. It's no accident. Like, if you're at the gym, anybody can make eye contact with anybody. Because, you know, you can face in any direction while you're lifting weights. You can face in any direction while you're on a treadmill. Okay, treadmill, there are limits. But you know what I mean? You can just kind of pivot. You can kind of crane your neck. But this woman, because she's in front of me in the airplane, you know, she should be facing straight ahead. But she's not. She's making the effort to do a 180 in her chair, to twist all the way around and look back at me to try to make eye contact with me and try to show me that she's interested. I noticed that. Again, I don't really care. It's not really a big deal. And I didn't recognize that this good-looking woman making eye contact with me in the seat ahead of me, because I'm seeing her through the gap between the seats. I didn't recognize the same woman that I'd seen before. When she stood up, I recognized it was the same woman I'd seen before. So when she stood up and we're going to get out of the airplane. Oh, wow. It's you. As I say, to be blunt, this was an extremely attractive, extremely impressive woman. And I know she's interested in me. And I've now got to stand up and get my luggage and get out of the airplane. And that took a lot longer. It was a situation where the airplane, for whatever reason, the doors remained locked for quite a long time. So I actually had more than 10 minutes where I'm standing there with her. And of course, I'm expected to make small talk or hi, where you from, or whatever. Speaking Chinese, speaking English. But she's taking down her luggage. She's got maybe 3 different bags, like backpack, carry-on, small luggage type stuff. And she has the most tasteless, tacky, asinine decorations on this luggage. Like Hello Kitty is more tasteful, like cute crap. And this woman, I'm guessing she's over 25. She could be just 25, but she could be 27. I don't know. Which also, of course, is more addressed to me. I'd rather meet someone closer to my age. And I can't do it. Like, I can't even, I cannot do it. Like, I see that, and then I take a second glance at her clothes, and she's got the same kind of, cutesy, smiling kitten garbage. Like, it looks like she paid someone to add it to her dress. Like, the dress didn't have that, but, and, what is tastelessness, and what does it connect to me? For me, right away, it made me think that she was born rich, that she'd never had a real job or didn't have a real job now. It's like, it was so tasteless, it was in such poor taste, that, I couldn't imagine her going into any workplace without her boss or someone telling her, look, we need you to dress in a little more uniform manner. Okay, maybe she has a workplace where when she goes to work, she changes her clothes totally. And, maybe she's a nurse, she puts on a different outfit. Maybe it's not a problem. But right away, I think, this is someone I can never respect intellectually. This is someone who doesn't read books. That's probably the majority of the population doesn't read books. But hey, I think, and just, suddenly she's not attractive to me. Even though she's really gorgeous. And my point is not that she's a bad person. I don't know. She could be a wonderful person in so many ways I can't anticipate and I don't know about. I doubt it. Maybe if I talk to her, it turns out she also tried to do humanitarian work in Cambodia. Maybe she's also fascinated by the politics of the, ongoing northern Burmese rebel armies or something. You don't know. I'm never going to know. My point is not that she's a bad person or that it would have been a bad conversation. My point is that I'm a snob. And it's not shallow. You know what I mean? I can't say that I'm a snob for shallow reasons. I'm a snob precisely because I look at that. And of course also she owned, everything she had was made out of leather. I'm vegan. Everything she owned was made out of leather. So there's already a barrier there. But I look at that and, like this old saying from Socrates, the unexamined life is not worth living. I really feel like this is someone who lives an unexamined life. And this is someone who can never be a part of the same, life I live morally and ethically and politically. And that's how I feel about it. And like I said a couple of minutes ago, when I meet people, I try to let them show me what virtues they've got. Maybe they're smart in ways I can't anticipate. Maybe they have fascinating life experience I can't guess at. Maybe there's all kinds of wonderful things about them. But in that moment, and I know she's interested in me. I mean, it was not fleeting. She really let me know she was interested in me. I can't do it. And it wasn't a momentary decision because then I stand there for more than 10 minutes in absolute silence with my backpack on or whatever. True story.